Okay, guys, we back with another episode of Noir Comics creation, and for all you guys who's new to my line of comic books, because this is my second channel. My first channel is Raging Gill versus E-Bikes. Raging Gill will be this character right here, which is my first comic, and I decided to name the channel Raging Gill versus E-Bikes because ever since I retired, because of me uh, becoming disabled, I decided to try to catch up on some of the hobbies that I had in life that, bring me some joy. And creating comic books was one of them. And my first book that I created under my Nora Comics uh, label was The Raging Gill. So I figured it was a battle of passions between creating comic books and building e-bikes, because that's something just before I retired that I really got into, that I enjoyed. I built my first e-bike, and I had just started deciding to ride it back and forth to work, because in the DC metropolitan area, DC, Maryland, Virginia area, they're really committed to bicycle commuting. They, a lot of bike lanes, and they're making it real easy for you to commute back and forth on bicycles in this area. So I really got into that just before I retired. So with me being retired, I decided, I'm very limited in what I can do. I do as much as I can, to the point where, my hands hurt or my back started hurting too much where I can't do much more. Anyway, I decided to get back into these things. Yeah, so that's where the name came from, my, the battle between my two passions of creating comic books and building e-bikes. But recently I decided to separate the two channels and start my own, start another channel dedicated to my comic books and creating my comic books. So that's where the Nora comic creations come from. So if it seemed like I just jumped way ahead in my first video, is because, I've done a lot of introduction stuff to my comic books in my other channel. But I decided to step back. So the first book I started out with was The Raging Gill, which is the name of my first channel is based off of. And this book is actually in black and white. I'm out here on my porch and there's mosquitoes out here, but I'm on enough medications that they usually don't bite me. But yeah, so the comic book and all my comic books are based on the Planet Noir or tied to the Planet Noir. So that's why it's called Noir Comics, because it's most of the stories are taking place on the Planet Noir. So yeah, and my main character in this book, and he's called the Raging Gill because he's dealing with pollution. And the planet is pretty divided. Planet Noir is divided between two major factors on the planet. You have the United Regions, and that is a conglomerate of 10 different regions, and each regions, the people are different. And then you have the awakened territories, the awakened lands, and in this area, most of these people are black. It's you got white clans and black clans. That's how it really separated between the clans, and that was divided down mostly through color lines. But you also have pockets of islands and stuff like that throughout the planet, and they can range from, somewhere in the middle, or leaning more towards the awakened territories, or more aligned with the United Regions. Now, the United Regions' goal is to take over the whole planet. And the main thing that's stopping them from doing that is the major power element on this planet is plylithium, which is mostly located in the awakened territories. And the awakened territories is controlled by the awakened nine. Their territory is broken up into like 9 subdivisions, 9 lands, 9 territories, which are controlled by 9 different groups, but they all in line with each other. But each territory is specialized in different things. So when you go through the different territories, you might find like these groups are very different from each other, but they all black people though in the awakened territories. But anyways, Raging Gill's battle is with New Tech, which is one of the 10 regions. And New Tech is and very industrial, and they pollute the water. They have no concept of pollution or none of that type stuff. So they pollute the waters in their region. Their water is very toxic and polluted, and the waters that they're polluting happens to be close to Gill's territory, his undersea world where they live and stuff. So his waters are getting polluted by New Tech. So his battle is mainly with New Tech. So that's what this book is about. This book is mainly about Raging Gill bringing war to the New Tech region for them polluting his waters, which they really don't have. They really have no idea that they exist there, because Gill's people probably been on the planet before either one of these groups ever came to this planet. So they're an ancient group of people that live in the water on this planet. So that's what this book is about. This book is about Gill bringing battle to the New Tech region for polluting his waters. And he's an ancient warrior for his people, and he's enraged from the pollution and the death that it caused to his people. So that's what this book is about. And this book actually does some introduction to the whole Noir world and some of the groups and powers and stuff that exist. Well, my second book, I didn't want to jump right into the second book on Raging Gill, which I am working on second issue, which if you follow my channel, you'll see as I create, finish drawing the book, and I will walk you through the process of getting the book printed. For you guys who's interested in printing your own book and you don't know how to go about doing it and what you got to do to get it done, well, if you follow along with me, I will walk you through that process, because I know there's a lot of people, they might show you how to draw pages and stuff, but they don't show you how to go ahead and get your book printed up. So if you follow this channel, I'm going to walk you through all that stuff. I'm going to walk you through the process of me getting my book, so you can see how I'm getting my books printed up. Now, I'm not saying this is the only way you can get your books printed up, but this is the way I do it. And if you want to follow along, you can reach out and use the same printing company I use. I found them to be very good. I only had 2 books done, but I'm happy with both books, the way they was printed, delivery, all that. I'm price, happy with all that. So my second book is the Agent Leatherneck, and unlike the Raging Gill, which he's battling with one of the 10 regions, this book is dealing with one of the islands. Agent Leatherneck is telling the story of one of the islands. Like I said, on the Planet Noir, there's clusters of islands throughout the planet. And a lot of these islands, they want to be left alone. They not really in the conflict between the United Regions and the Awakened Lands. But the issue is the Awakened Lands' ultimate goal, the United Regions' ultimate goal is conquest of the whole planet. And to do that, they would have to acquire as much lithium as possible. And so what that means is they constantly have agents and people out throughout the planet trying to locate lithium. And if they discover some of these clusters or islands have lithium, they're going to do what they can possibly do to try to steal their supply of lithium, because their goal is to, conquer the planet and to control all the lithium they can possibly get their hands on. So Agent Leatherneck is an agent on the planet Forecast. Forecast has a formidable force field around their island, and the island is located in very turbulent waters. So the only reason why this island is able to function in this region is because of their force field. Keeps them safe from the waters and turbulent weather in this region where they're at, which is also a defense mechanism to keep any possible invaders in or whatever, from their islands, because it's very dangerous to even try to make it to the island before you even have to deal with the force field. But of course, the United Regions have all kind of agents and stuff. Their goal is to go out, find the lithium, and steal it. And one of the 10 regions specialize in assassins and special people with skills to sneak in and steal whatever they have to steal. So on this book, it deals with United Regions trying to basically steal the island of Forecast supply of lithium. Lithium is my planet's version of vibranium for the Marvel universe. So whoever controls supply lithium basically has the ability to control the planet. But the Awakened Territories' goal is not, I'm not going to necessarily say their goal is not to control the planet. They're not aggressively trying to control the planet. Let's put it like that. But anyways, the Agent Leatherneck, he's called an agent because on the island, they have 10 towers. They have 4 towers. They have 4 towers. Each tower is controlled by an agent. So they have 4 agents on this planet. Each agent is like what you would call a general or whatever for that tower, because the 4 towers is what maintains the shield on the island. And Agent Leatherneck is one of the agents that control the tower. I think he controls Tower 2. So this book is about Agent Leatherneck, the commander, or the agent for Tower 2, and his story, and him dealing with a threat to the island's security for their lithium. So with my second book, with me getting a little more knowledgeable about digital art and stuff, I did this one in color. I did better at the lettering of this book because I hand lettered. The first book, I hand lettered this. If you look at all the lettering and stuff in here, I actually wrote all the lettering in this hand traditionally. All the pages was drawn traditionally in this one. I just inked it digitally, but everything was done traditionally otherwise than the inking. Even, with the old school lettering, the tool that they use to letter, I use all that on this book. So that's why my YouTube page was called The Raging Guild, because this was my first book, and this was my baby, my passion. This was my love right here. And these characters are very old characters. Like I said, since I retired, I went back into my reservoir of comic book characters that I drew when I was a kid and stuff. So this story and these characters and stuff, I changed up some of the origins of the characters and stuff like that because of me trying to bring a whole universe about. But these characters of mine, comic book characters of mine, are very old. So I got tons of ideas of characters and stories and yeah, like right now I'm in the process. I think 3 books I'm nearing completion, where I just gotta ink them and stuff like that, and lettering and stuff. I got the script written for them and stuff, and like me having more time for being retired is giving me time to go back and explore stories with all these characters I created from my childhood for years and years of not having time to dedicate to it. But now that I have the time, or I'm going to spend as much time as I have trying to complete these stories and stuff, and to leave for my grandbabies, Yep. Leave a legacy of stories for my grandbabies so they can have and see how their grandfather's imagination was with the stories and stuff I created. But anyway, that's all. I thought I'd do a little introduction for the Noir comic universe, give you a little insight into where you might see me going. Well, my next story that I really just have to color and put the script to the pages is Superior. Superior is the main character for the Planet Noir, and I'm gonna leave that to you to get that book and read it, or once I complete it I might go over it some then. But yeah, he's the backbone to the Planet Noir. And his book, his story is the only one that's really going to take you off planet. It's not just bound to the planet. His story is really off planet. So that's all I'm gonna say about that. But this is the next character that comic book that you might see me come out with, and the one that I'm working on the pages. Well, I'm gonna be working on this book and the second issue of the Raging Guild. Those two books I'm like going back and forth working on. But there you go, guys. Follow along with the adventures of Planet Noir.